Are you free in the morning? I was thinking of grabbing some coffee. There's a pretty good place around the corner. I think we'll have an okay time, will be just fine. Don't worry about it.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode of the Infatuasian podcast. This is a show where we aim to celebrate and elevate Asian culture and creators. Thank you for joining us today. And today we're making a house call. This is the first. I think we haven't come to someone's house before, but we're actually at the home of the exciting duo Corner Club.
Woo!
Being here, does that make me part of the club now? Am I?
It does, yes. Certified corner clubber.
All right. I'm in the club, guys. So we are talking to Mike and Sav. Do you want to be Savannah or you want to be Sav?
I'll be Sav.
Okay, you can be Sav. So Mike and Sav are a duo originally from Maryland
and New York.
I
grew up in Long Island.
But now we're in San Francisco. And we're in a cool part of San Francisco. We're pretty much smack dab in the middle of the city. And I had to drive past, for those of you who know the city, I had to drive past the Painted Ladies of Alamo Square. What do you think? Painted Ladies, overrated, underrated?
I think they're perfectly rated, actually.
Yeah?
I agree.
Yeah, I've had a nice park picnic overlooking the Painted Ladies.
Yeah.
And on a nice day, I feel like it's very worth the hype.
I agree. I like, if you're not a fan, you might be a little, like if you don't watch Full House or, you don't like architecture, you might be a little disappointed. But I think it's pretty cool. Yeah. And the view of the city and that park.
Yeah.
There's a school across the street from it called Ida B. Wells Continuation High School.
Huh.
And I was thinking, that'd be kind of a cool place to work in the lunch hour. You crawl out and go to Alamo Square. But we digress. We're at the home of Mike and Sav, and we are going to talk a little bit about Corner Club. How would you describe Corner Club?
Corner Club is the duo. Well, there's the professional answer, which is Corner Club is the indie pop duo of Mike and Sav.
Uh-huh.
We write all of our music together. We produce it all together. And it's just two friends having a good time talking about our feelings.
Mm-hmm.
The unprofessional answer is that it's kind of just like a crazy project that we put together. We never expected to be here. We never expected to be, on the Infatuasian podcast.
Uh-huh.
We never expected to be doing taxes and having our own little music studio.
Yeah.
So it's been a crazy journey, but it all kind of started from hanging out, being friends, and loving music.
Yeah.
Nice, yeah. Anything to add?
Nah, couldn't have said it better. Kind of just made her say it.
No, it kind of was a little more acousticy. But this last EP, a little more electric, a little more distortion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the music has kind of grown with us in a bit. I mean, when we first started out, it was I had a vague sense of what it took to produce music, record music, all this kind of stuff. But the acoustic guitar, guitars were what I played growing up and all my life. So it's my primary instrument. So it's natural to start something that you can play it live. It's the same. You can record it.
Yeah.
Didn't know anything about really recording acoustic guitars when we first started out. So just bought some mics, bought an audio interface, just got everything going, and then and I think as we've gotten more time to experiment with stuff and learn more about music production, it opens up the possibilities for what we can create. And so I feel like we've tried to explore as much as we can, and it was just kind of wherever our heart takes us with that.
All right. And we're going to listen to some music today, and we might actually strum a few chords today. We'll see how the spirit leads us today. We'll see where we go. Let's jump back a second. We like to greet our guests in the Asian way. Now it is barely 5:00. So Mike and Sav, have you eaten yet?
We have not. We were actually just talking about it right before this because it feels like a curry kind of day, but
It does.
all of our favorite curry spots are all closed for Monday. So now we're trying to think about alternatives.
Yeah, it's a rainy. We are recording in December, maybe a week or two out from Christmas, and it's been raining. We had a tsunami warning last week, and then we had a tornado warning.
It was crazy.
There's a tornado.
Yeah.
Oh, all of our phones blew up at 5:50 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it didn't hit San Francisco, but it hit Santa Cruz. And there's some video, and cars are flipped.
Oh my gosh.
It's pretty nuts. being the bad dad I am, I told my kids to go back to sleep. I was like, they came in like, what should we do? What should we do? I was like, I think we're going to go back to sleep. So
It's true.
But yeah, nothing really hit San Francisco, but it's been crazy. Windy and rainy. Luckily, we have power today. But yeah, so it's a curry kind of day. Yeah, Mondays are tricky because, yeah, a lot of restaurants.
A lot of stuff is closed. And definitely, I feel like with the weather, it's like, it's either soup or it's something like soothing and warm for the soul.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have to get through this interview first. But yeah, I haven't eaten. Well, I've had lunch, but then since then, just a couple cookies. So yeah, we're ready. So we'll get through this.
Yes.
How about your roots? What's your ancestry?
We're both Chinese, so I think both of our parents immigrated here prior to us being born. So yeah, we were born here, but yeah.
How far back do you know? Like grandparents, great-grandparents?
I mean, everything's from China as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
In terms of like specifics, it gets hard to say. For
Like northern,
grandparents.
southern?
Oh, my family's all from the south.
So Canton area? Or
No, like Fujian.
Fujian.
Yeah.
Do you speak Fujian?
No, I wish. My parents used to like use like Fujianese around me to like not let me know what I'm saying. And they like
The secret
intentionally kind of
language.
like never taught me anything, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, you hear your name,
Right.
and then you hear a bunch of Chinese, and you're like,
Yeah.
wait, what
Or just like whenever they switch, I'm like, all right, like,
You know, there's
what
no
must they be
secrets.
talking about?
It's funny though, because Mike's Mandarin, the accent is very like Fujianese.
Yeah, it's super.
So you've
super
heard
southern.
it your whole life.
Yeah, I mean, my parents like I don't know, like my parents like we all sound like we're from the south.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Sav?
My parents are also Chinese. My dad is from Guangzhou. He grew up in Chongqing, so he's from the south. And my mom is from the north, from Tianjin.
Okay.
And so they met when they both came to,
Oh.
they both moved to New York for grad school.
Okay.
And it's funny because I think to like outsiders or people who aren't very familiar with Chinese culture, it's like, oh, you're Chinese. But it's funny because they will make jokes and poke fun at each other for being from the north or from the south.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. No, there's
So
a thing.
it's a huge difference.
Yeah, but to each other, they speak Cantonese, English, or Mandarin.
Generally, we'll speak in English, but my mostly Mandarin if we were going to speak Chinese. But I actually just came back from China. I was visiting my grandpa and family in the south, so it's always a mix of. This is getting way off topic.
That's
but,
okay.
when we watched the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once, it's the first representation I've seen of mixed Mandarin Canto English.
Yeah.
And that really hit home for me.
Yeah, it kind of throws some people off, but you were like, oh,
I was like, wow, this is
like family
my
gathering.
actual experience. Wow.
Yeah. I kind of like it when they do that in a way because it's honest to, who they are and they're
Right.
speaking their comfortable dialect. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So very cool. I noticed we'll get into the music in a second, but would you ever sing a song in Chinese or not at that level?
I mean, we've done covers
Okay.
every now and then, but nothing like officially like out like a recorded cover.
Sure.
But I don't know. I feel like it would be tricky.
I think it's tricky because
I don't know if
our
you'd write
Chinese
weird-
writing
yeah.
skills aren't
Yeah.
aren't good enough.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
Well, I did see you had one song with a title in Chinese.
Yes.
that's true.
We'll mention
We
that one
do.
in a second. All right. So you were growing up in the East Coast. And like you said a second ago, you kind of fell into this hobby as a duo. But what was the plan? What was the plan in college? What was the plan, growing up? What did you envision yourself doing?
Honestly, when I was really little, it was like, very classic boy things. Like, I want to be a baseball player, want to be a rock star at one point when I was like playing guitar. But yeah, I mean, once I got to school, I kind of didn't actually know what I wanted to do at college. Like I started out as like an economics major and then I switched to psychology because I was like really interested in like behavioral economics. And then eventually I ended up becoming a data scientist from that path, which I think is like a very natural thing that like uses a lot of like experimental thinking, these kind of things. But yeah, I mean, music was always like a big part of my life. So I feel like it feels natural to be like involved in it in like some capacity, but I feel like this was never something that I would have imagined.
It's kind of hard to connect the dots when you don't see it in your family or,
Right.
like in your friends.
Yeah.
All right. What were you thinking, Sam?
Yeah, I feel like I fell very much into the Asian stereotypes of, wow, I want to be an eye doctor so bad. And it's because I had really bad eyesight growing up. I had glasses starting in 2nd grade. I got contacts in 5th grade. And I was like, wow, this would be great if I were an eye doctor. I don't know why, but that was kind of what it is. But ended up, I started out with financial engineering in college and then switched to computer science. So.
Okay. Is that ultimately what brought you guys to the Bay Area? Was data and comp sci?
No, actually.
Yeah, actually kind of independent of that. So we started out in New York and then wanted to change of pace. And that's how we ended up here. It wasn't really the appeal of kind of like tech or anything like that. It was more just a change of pace, having friends here and loving nature.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I can't argue with that. I love it here too. All right. So you said you just kind of met each other as friends, like through just nothing to do with music. You just met as friends.
Well, actually, we met through an a cappella group.
Oh, okay.
So we went to the same school, and there was like an East Asian a cappella group.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they still around?
It's still around. Yeah. It's called V-Tone. This is at Princeton.
Okay.
But yeah, we just like ended up becoming, friends through that, and we did like as like a group, like sometimes like around campus they'll send like performers, like sometimes they'll send like a whole like piece out and like go perform that piece somewhere if there's like a night market thing that like some club is doing. But yeah, sometimes we would get like kind of sent out as representatives as just like a duo where like I'd play guitar and she'd sing. And I mean, even then, like we didn't have any conception of like this becoming like a more serious thing or like writing our original songs, but that was just like a fun thing we did. But I guess like we had pretty similar like musical values, standards, and I think like that was like the first hint that like maybe like we'd be compatible in terms of making music together, because I feel like it's hard to find someone that has like the same, I guess, like sensibility of like, oh, like this, it should be this way, or like this needs to be like this good, or like something like that. So yeah, I think we both took music very seriously throughout our lives too, so I think that helps.
Yeah, that's true, because there's a reason why I don't have a co-host. Because it's kind of hard to find that person. Because it's, creative decisions are tricky, because, it's just, you have to kind of be on the same wavelength. Yeah. All right, so you guys are just starting to tinker around in the living room or just messing around with some songs. When did Corner Club become a actual thing?
Corner Club officially formed in fall of 2018, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, and we were at my house. I think we were at my house in Maryland for Thanksgiving.
Okay, like your family house.
My family house, yeah. Okay. We're very familiar with each other's families. We go to each other's houses.
Well, no, I think it was the summer, right?
Was
I think
it?
it was like before you moved.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Mike is a year older, so he had graduated first.
Okay.
I was waiting to move. But anyway, he was at my house. We were trying to think about like fun band names just for fun. And so we were kind of like brainstorming, thinking about SEO, like what names are taken already.
Yeah, I feel like there's like an unwritten rule of band names where it's like you can't choose a name that like if you like can Google it you can find another band. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's probably wise though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and so we landed on Corner Club.
In lowercase.
In lowercase, yes, because we felt like we identify as lowercase people. To this day, I can't tell you what that means, but it is definitely something that we feel.
Yeah, it really feels right.
So Corner Club, 2 words, all lowercase.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
And it doesn't have a meaning other than SEO said it was
No, it does have a meaning. Okay. But the question that we like to ask is, imagine you're at a party. Where in the room are you?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm definitely an introvert, so I'm in the corner, if I'm in the room at all.
Yeah. And that's why you're part of the Corner Club?
Okay.
Yeah,
no, it totally makes sense. I can relate to the Corner Club, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and so when we were in college, we were at like a party for this a cappella group we were in. We happened to be at opposite corners of the room.
Yeah.
Made eye contact. did that little, the little nod of acknowledgement.
You're in the corner, I'm in the corner.
Yeah. So that's kind of like a core memory for both of us.
Okay. All right, now I gotta clarify. So friends only? More than friends?
Yes. Friends.
Yeah,
it's
friends
one of the
only.
most common questions that we get. It's siblings or dating is the question.
Okay.
But we are friends.
Okay. All right. So you started 2018, and I've listened to some of your older stuff and some of your new stuff, and you said you've kind of evolved a little bit. How would you say you've evolved?
Honestly, I think it's just like, you know, the fun thing about like how we do music, right, is like, you know, it's something we take very seriously, but it's like something we don't, I guess, like have to depend on as our like primary source of income. And so that frees us up to just creatively pursue whatever we want.
Yeah.
And so, you know, like if we're like, hey, let's try a little more like rock sound, like it's like, oh, let's just do it, right?
The label's not going to tell you what to do.
Right. If we want to do something more electronic, it's like, okay, let's try that. So I think it just evolves with our music tastes and things that we want to like make. I think a lot of like our like production style, I guess, is informed by like stuff that we listen to, but then also it's like whenever we write a song, it's like we think about what is the best version of that song. And like sometimes if it's like, I don't know, like a lot of the songs might start a certain way, like, you know, we play piano and guitar between the two of us and like just kind of sing over that. But then, you know, if it's like an angry song or if it's like a very hype song or like it just feels like they can go in these directions, like we're just free to explore that all the time and like talk about it and reference different things. And yeah, so I think like like all the music that we make is kind of like it's almost like a time capsule of like where we're at the time. And
like where
what
you're
we're
at
listening to.
geographically or where you're at?
A little bit of geography too, I think, but it's just like where we are in our whole lives,
Yeah,
right? Like what
okay.
we're listening to, what we're feeling, all these kind of things.
Okay. You know, this is the point where we start talking about some music. Can we listen to some of your songs?
Yeah, for sure.
So 3 EPs, is that?
Yeah, 3 EPs.
Okay. Oh, you know what we forgot to mention is how we met. We met on the street.
That's true.
The mean streets of Union Street, San Francisco. And if the audience remembers, I interviewed Eddie On outside of Nico Nico, which is a cool little gift shop on Union Street. And you guys were playing a set.
Yeah.
You were my opening opener that night.
we were.
But that's cool. It's a cool little space that Jessica runs. And did she just find you guys, or do you know her?
You actually
Yeah, I actually met her through Elise, who's a mutual friend. But Elise also runs Tall Confections. She makes chocolates. And so she does pop-ups with Nico Nico. And I was just hanging out at the shop with her and met Jessica and mentioned the music. And Jessica's so friendly. So she was
so
like,
great.
oh, you guys should play in the parklet. So that's how we met.
Yeah. I happened to be there too, and it was great. And I was like, we got to get these guys on the podcast.
Yeah.
So I had one song I was thinking.
Sure.
But let's see. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, I want to.
All right.
Curious what you got.
The song that really struck me was Manhattanhenge. 2021, is that about right?
I think it was 2019.
Oh,
actually.
that's one.
Yeah,
That's like
it's an older one.
It's an older one.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
like it's like a standalone single.
So obviously New York Days. For those out there who don't know, Manhattanhenge is what?
It's this like thing that happens, I think, twice a year, where like the sun sets in a particular way that it like lines up perfectly with one of the like horizontal streets in New York, so that like when you like look down the street, it's like this gorgeous like sunset that's where the sun sits above like the horizon right on the street. And yeah, it's like only a few minutes. It's really funny when it actually happens because like people just kind of run out into the middle of the street, like anytime like the car's not there, and like take a bunch of pictures. And like, you know, it's dangerous to look at the sun, but it's very gorgeous.
It's a very romantic phenomenon.
Yeah, and it's fleeting.
Yeah.
What do you think though? Did the internet ruin Manhattanhenge though? It probably was a thing that only photographers knew about.
Yeah, actually, I have no conception of that because I don't actually remember how we like heard of it, because when we wrote the song, it was not like neither of us had ever seen one. But I guess we just knew it was kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Walking down 8th Avenue with you, our fingers touching the light. You pull back, blush and delight. Call me when you get back home. Meet me at Manhattanhenge. Meet me under Columbus Circle. I'll be waiting there for you. suffice. I'll be waiting there for
So what's the sentiment behind the song? Meet me at Manhattanhenge.
Honestly, I think back at that time, we didn't think very hard about metaphors or like honestly too much of the meaning behind what we were writing. It's more, well, Mike and I write a lot based on people watching and just imagine scenarios. And so the way that song starts, it's like chatting at a coffee shop. It's very literal in a way. You're on the streets of Manhattan, you're chatting in a coffee shop, maybe you make eye contact with like a cute person across, who's walking by. And so meet me at Manhattanhenge, meet me under Columbus Circle. At that time, I was actually dating someone who lived near Columbus Circle, and it was kind of like, oh, this is like a romantic concept of, the apartments in New York are so small, you got to meet somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So might as well be Manhattanhenge.
That's cool. Yeah, so dreamy. Did you have anything in mind when you were writing that? Like, what were you trying to capture? Are you lyrics first, or are you?
She's definitely lyrics first.
I think I follow the philosophy that everything has to come at the same time. And so a lot of the ways, well, one of the ways that we write is we'll be jamming. Mike is playing some guitar stuff, and then I'll kind of riff over it, and that's kind of just how it comes to light. We don't really write words separately from the rest of the music.
But they don't start out as poems or.
Oh, not really.
Okay, so you have you're writing a song when you.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a song. But yeah, I mean, and for anyone who's been to Manhattan, I think there are certainly parts that are grimy. It's quite dense, but I think it is a very romantic city.
It is.
And so there's a lot of kind of like imagined scenarios where you could be walking past the future love of your life and you would never know.
Yeah. No, I love that. This city of, 13 million people, and then you have this meet cute in the middle of Columbus Circle. Yeah.
I think in a way it's like maybe it was helpful that we didn't know what a Manhattanhenge exactly was or had an experience one, because then all that we could do is like imagine like the most romantic version of what that scene could be like. Yeah.
Great. Love that song. All right. Now you guys get to pick a song.
Yeah, I think we were talking about this a bit earlier and thought that there's a song Honeymoon from our first EP called Little Love Lullabies that it's got a lot of fun little nuggets that might be interesting to kind of go through.
Take me to your hideaway. We'll lay down on our pillows, watch the stars fade away, and just fall, just to be in your arms. It's all let go, even after the alarm. Saturday nights, I'm for hiding in the covers. No one else loves we love each other.
Yeah.
So good. And have you guys been approached to be a soundtrack? I can see this totally being rom-com soundtrack.
I wish. I feel like I'd love for our music to be in like a movie or something like that.
So atmospheric, yeah. What are some nuggets about this song that you can tell us?
Well, this is a really fun one. So this song is called Honeymoon, and it was part of our EP Little Love Lullabies. And so in the arc of a romantic relationship, this is, I mean, obviously the honeymoon phase. But one of my favorite kind of nuggets in this song is this bridge that we kind of just listened through, where two things about it. The words that kind of come in at the end is actually a poem that I wrote in college. I used to be in a spoken word group, and we thought that it would be appropriate as kind of like a layered approach in this part, as it's like drifting out of that kind of atmospheric thing back into reality.
Yeah.
And then the second thing that I personally really like about this song is that you can, I think especially when we listen to songs today, there's a lot more like moving parts. Songs are shorter, but I really love music where it changes very gradually over time, and you can't really tell exactly what is changing and when it's changing. But what we did here is it starts out with oohs that are stacked, and then it goes into ahs. And so through this entire section, you're kind of drifting out of the oohs into the ahs, and that's why it's a very slow movement.
Yeah, good for the lullaby aspect too, because I feel like it really pulls you in really deep. But if you're like in there, you get to notice a lot of detail.
Now, since we are the Infatuasian podcast, we alluded to Dreaming a minute ago. It's the only one with a Chinese title. And we were talking about the images that you see on Spotify. And there's some images there that are a little different. So what can you tell us about Dreaming?
Dreaming is a song that we wrote after my grandma passed. And it was during COVID, so she was in China.
You couldn't even see
see her. And a lot of my family in the U.S. is dispersed. Like my parents are in Florida. I've family in Arizona and Chicago. So not only is it we can't go see her, but we can't be with each other.
Yeah.
And so my aunt actually had a dream where in her dream she was with my grandma and like all was well. And she shared that dream with everyone. And that's kind of like the story behind the song. But the reason why there's a Chinese name on it, Mengzhong, is because I think there's such a beauty to the description she gave the dream in Chinese. And I feel like Mengzhong captures more than dreaming. It almost means within a dream. It's like here's like capturing the entire meaning and the visual of the dream. But yeah, it's a song that we wrote to honor her. And Mike had some like similar experiences and kind of feelings around our grandparents obviously growing up very far from them. So
yeah, like for the cover art and stuff, we both like got some pictures of like you can kind of see like us with our grandparents when we were very little. Like honestly, I mean, I don't remember what was going on in that picture, but yeah, I don't know, it just felt right.
Yeah. Right. Can we listen to a little bit?
Yeah.
And audience out there, is Spotify kind of the main way people find you? Or?
Yeah, Spotify, YouTube, whatever people like want to listen to their normal music on, we should be on.
Yeah. All for free.
You visited me last night, 40 years younger. Didn't speak a word and disappeared. You sat across the table, seeing what's become, with a silent smile and weightless heart. And it's hard to say goodbye, so I'll rewind through the memories one last time. Ooh.
Yeah, no, I love it. So you hear Mike on the backup vocals. Does Mike ever get the lead vocals on any of these songs?
Not really. I haven't really wanted to.
But you are a singer though, because you were in the a cappella group.
I actually, fun fact, I joined as a guitar player because they would do this thing where like in the fall they have like an a cappella performance, but in the spring they would have like an instrumental show. So I joined as that. Did end up singing a bit, and I think we'll hear a bit more of me in the future.
Okay.
And even on the last EP, there's
A little bit more.
a bit more singing from me, but we're working up to it. Yeah,
Baby steps.
Yeah. I think a part of it is like historically, like I've struggled to sing while playing.
That is true.
And it's just one of those things where it's like you just have to practice it. Like I can do it with stuff that we've done when I just like sit down with it for a few hours, but
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people who like I meet some people who like they learn how to play guitar and they can instantly just sing over it.
Yeah.
And I feel like if it was like that, maybe it'd be different. But
Yeah. All right. So that brings us to November 2024. There is a new EP out called No Refunds.
yeah.
This is your first totally SF album, or?
Yeah, so this is like, so I moved here about 2 years ago, and so we did release like an EP last year that Dreaming's on. That one's called In the Rearview Mirror, and that one is kind of a split of, I guess like actually everything was conceptualized back when we were in New York. We didn't quite finish it before we moved, so we finished it here, and like some of it's recorded here. But since then, yeah, all the songs on No Refunds we wrote like since moving here, and so I think some of the themes and like sounds are definitely very inspired by being in California rather than being in New York. Yeah.
being on a tree-lined street in the middle of a quiet city, the quiet part of the city. Yeah. Very cool. What song would you like to do from No Refunds?
Yeah, so we were thinking to go through Clementines a bit. I feel like Clementines is maybe the best example of like, it's a song that I don't think either of us could have imagined writing living in New York, but here with like the parks and everything and just having that much space, like, yeah, that's where a lot of this came from.
Sticks and stones that break my bones. The gravel burns my toes. Going on my own. Don't follow me around here. I'll find my way back home alone. Don't follow me around here.
Fun, yeah. I saw some of the clips from you shot a video for this, so it's really oranges everywhere, falling on your faces. Yeah, very cool. Rolling across the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, really, really fun. I know this, and I don't know if there's a couple songs that have the word die in it. One of them is Not Ready to Die, right? And the other one is When I Die. What, do you have a little bit of an obsession with death, or?
Honestly, we actually we're constantly writing new songs, and I would say more of our songs than we intend generally revolve around dying. I don't know. How would you respond to that?
Well, I mean, When I Die, I think came at a time where things were a bit rough, and that song was kind of like a reminder to, appreciate life, and just like it was kind of like a love letter to life. And then I don't know. I don't want to die just yet. I think he just spontaneously.
Yeah, it's spontaneously combusted into existence.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think either of us have like a particular fixation when it comes to like writing songs about it, but we have definitely had to have conversations where we're like, oh, we referenced dying again.
Yeah, like maybe we should do that.
Yeah.
It's 3 songs in a row.
Yeah. But who knows?
Yeah.
We're on a streak. Might as well keep it going.
And wait, which one of them is a waltz too? One of them is
When I Die.
When I Die.
Yeah.
I was picturing it and I'm listening to it, not the lyrics, but I'm listening to the song. I was like, oh, this would be a cute little first dance at a wedding. It's like, okay, well, maybe not when you listen to the lyrics. But.
Yeah, we always tell people like, we introduce a song title and then we're like, but it's a happy song, we promise. Yeah.
And you insert a lot of humor in your songs too. You have, how would you describe your sense of humor? It's
whimsical,
Yeah.
a little wry.
Yeah.
What's that song? When You're Ready, is that one?
Whenever you're ready.
Whenever you're ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
This, where does that come from? Obviously a breakup and just wishing all these, not death, we're not going that dark on it, but just misfortune upon.
Yeah.
Some of the lines there are pretty funny. Can we listen to some of those lines?
Sure.
I hope you're down in the dumps. I hope you think of me when you're crying to sleep. I hope you find a date. I hope your mom disapproves. I hope you spill your coffee all over your favorite white shirt. Whenever you're ready to see me again, I won't be waiting to forgive and forget. And when you're ready to fall in love again, I hope she's flawless, so you feel insecure. I hope she's ready.
Are these just thoughts that come to your head? like,
Sometimes.
There's a video somewhere we were just brainstorming. Well, I think the context is that I think we both don't identify as mean people who wish misfortune on other people,
correct.
but the thought of some of these petty things happening is just very funny.
Yeah.
Actually, do you have some of them on the top of your head? Like the one I liked was your mom disappointing your mom or something.
Yeah, I hope your mom disapproves.
Hope your mom disapproves.
Yeah. And some of these are from kind of like the reverse experience of having experienced something and then wishing it on someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have a little notebook where you're just writing these things down?
We actually did, and there were some that we decided were actually too
a
specific.
little too mean, or people would recognize it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we decided to generalize it a little bit more. But things like spilling your coffee on yourself on a white shirt,
On your best
on a
white shirt.
crisp white shirt, that's a very universal experience.
Yeah. No, those are great.
Yeah, this one is really fun to play live because I think everyone has that experience of wishing slight misfortune on someone.
Sure, I can hear the little giggles after every line. I can imagine the giggles. Speaking of performing, anything coming up live in the future?
Nothing officially like set yet. We're trying to play some shows. Come the new year. So figuring that out. Definitely, stay tuned.
Okay, I'm trying to get you to play down in Chinatown. So we'll talk more about that when it happens. But just continuing making music. That's the plan for now. Nothing huge and different.
Yeah, I feel like like ever since we started, like when we first started out, we did not plan to make this like a thing. We just kind of made some songs together, and then we're like, well, that was fun. Let's keep going. And so I think that's kind of been our motto throughout. And so I think what we love doing the most is just kind of like hanging out and like writing songs and like trying to work out the productions together. So that's naturally like where our time ends up going. But yeah, it's like I think this time of year we're talking a lot about like, oh, what do we want to do next? Like we've been talking maybe a little bit about like being in California, like what other kinds of like sources of inspiration we really want to like kind of utilize. And it's like every day like we get together and it's kind of like a new adventure of what will come out of just us being in the same room together.
All right, well, stay tuned, everyone. But in the meanwhile, you can listen to 3 EPs. How many songs total you have? At least 20 songs, man.
I think it's 20 something. It's kind of hard to keep track.
Yeah,
like I honestly I look at Spotify to remember like what songs we have
and the order that you made them.
Yeah. Like I don't remember the track order sometimes too.
Yeah, but go check out Corner Club, 2 words, all lowercase, on Spotify or wherever you get your music, YouTube and etc. And give them a listen. Have them playing in the background. You could use it as a soundtrack for your life, and you can have it playing in the background. Like it's very, very listenable and very, very. And then if you listen more carefully, you realize, whoa, there's some neat lyrics going on too.
Yeah, a lot of Easter eggs too.
A lot of Easter eggs. You got one Easter egg for us, like that you.
There's a song where we have fidget spinners in the studio.
Oh yeah.
There's a song where for the entirety of the song there's just one fidget spinner going.
Yeah, we just like spun it and just waited for it to finish recording. Yeah.
All right, so I think we're going to end the interview part here, but I had thrown out an idea and you didn't shoot it down. So maybe we'll try it. We may edit it out, who knows, but I was thinking just for fun, and who knows, we may use it, that we could try to write a little jingle or theme song for the Infatuasian podcast.
Yeah.
You guys down?
Yeah,
let's try it.
All right, we'll try it.
Yeah.
All right. So Infatuasian podcast is kind of a mouthful to put into a lyric, but we'll give it a try.
Yeah, I feel like we've always wanted to do something like this because we always joke about like when we jam, we just like make songs up, and we've joked about doing like an improvised song on the spot kind of thing. So
let's try it.
Let's see how it goes.
Okay, here's what I'm hearing, and let me know if this is not the vibe we're going for.
Okay.
Ready, Mike? It's gonna go like this.
The mics are definitely not gonna pick. Like only the ambiance mic is gonna pick.
Yeah, but it'll be like this: Infatuation podcast, infatuation, podcast, like that.
All right, like how happy or like how happy do you think this is?
If I'm using it, like let me think when I would use it. I could use it as the intro. I could use it as the outro. I could use it as a break when we change topics. So it could be as short as like 5 seconds. It could be as long as 20, 30 seconds.
All right. What was your idea?
The rhythm. Infatuation, podcast. Da-da-dum.
Don't make me change keys.
Let me think. This is kind of how we work through stuff.
No, I'm loving it. I am not in any hurry to get this done. So
Infatuation podcast. You can do the podcast part. Infatuation. Yeah. Infatuation. 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 Infatuation podcast.
that would be a cute little tag.
Yeah.
Even after the song,
Mm-hmm.
and then we end in that.
Yeah. Infatuation podcast. So short.
It's cute.
That's cute though.
All right, I guess we're committing to it.
All right, here, try it into the mic.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
see.
Infatuation podcast. Wait, let me say infatuation.
Mhm.
Infatuation podcast.
Will that work? I'll try one more time.
Yeah, let's do it again. Infatuation. No, let me do it better. Infatuation podcast.
And then maybe a something to end
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Wait, let me think about the ending.
I think even like a hanging, like a seventh, like something like that. No, maybe not this. Yeah, maybe not.
I feel like the first one works better.
What do I do?
The first chord you.
I don't know
That
what that.
sounds like an outro kind of. Yeah.
What do you think? You can be picky.
What chord is that? That's a
This is
that's
like a
D. Well,
A suspended 2.
maybe with an octave at the bottom.
Like
Maybe the top note being the note that she's singing. Bum. Yeah. Yeah.
so.
Infatuation podcast, and then it ends on
Yeah.
that.
I like
Okay.
that. Yeah.
That one.
Okay. Okay.
And just let it ring.
Infatuation podcast.
I feel like I shouldn't let it ring for.
Let's do
Okay,
it one
maybe-
I'll
more
let it
time.
ring
Let's
for
do
like
it.
4 beats and then
Yeah.
I'll cut it off.
Yeah.
And I'll maybe do like a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Infatuation podcast.
I think with the laughter. I think it's good.
Yeah. That's cute.
That's fun.
Yeah, that was fun. All right. Thanks for doing that. We'll slip it in somehow. We'll find a way.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need to, when we change topics or something, we need a little sound in between.
Yeah, you got. It's like the before the ad break.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to play something.
I've been meaning to get people who speak different languages to do, you're listening to the Infatuasian podcast
Oh.
in their language whenever we get to one of those breaks. But I keep forgetting when I find someone fluent
Yeah.
in different languages. But all right. Well, Mike and Sam, this has been super fun on a rainy day. Thank you for welcoming me into your house. I'm sorry I came empty-handed. I even forgot a microphone and forgot a stand. Next time, I'll bring the curry.
Good thing we're in the studio.
Yeah, this is the place. If you're going to forget equipment, this is the place to do it. But yeah, so glad we got to chat. And best of luck with everything. I have a feeling we're going to see each other again. I'm trying to make this happen.
Hope so.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having us.
No,
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, super fun.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
How about your socials? Where can people follow you?
Yeah, generally, if you Google it, Corner Club, we worked on our SEO a little bit, so hopefully you'll find us there. But otherwise, yeah, on Instagram, Corner Club Official. Yeah, best place to find us. Same thing on YouTube.
All right. And so stay tuned. Follow the Instagram so you know when they're going to be playing live. I think it'd be really fun to see you guys live in front of a crowd, even though the introverts in you want to hide in the corner.
It's true. It's true.
So there's something magical about performing. So
it really is cool.
Yeah.
It really is cool. All right. And everyone out there, you can follow us at Infatuasian Podcast, also on Instagram and Facebook. You can write us an email at infatuasianpodcast@gmail.com. And, I'll put all these details in the show notes. But, so thank you to Mike and Sav for coming on a rainy day and welcoming me into the house. This has been super fun. Listeners out there, thank you for spending time with us. So we hope your weather is better than our weather right now. But until we talk to you again, we hope that you're all happy, healthy, and safe out there. We'll talk to you soon, everyone. Bye.
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 And then we're going to hit the jingle.
Infatuasian podcast.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super fun.
When you're walking home at night, do you think of me? Hiding under candlelight, I'm hiding behind that tree. And the guys that I don't want, they keep texting me. And the guy that I kinda want, I guess he's nice. And the guy that I really want, he thinks I'm crazy, and he's right. I'm crazy, crazy for a long summer nights, crazy for a long hikes, crazy for long rides on my bike, crazy for staying alive. I don't wanna die just yet. 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 I don't wanna die.